we are back in Bergen. First test of this year in the laboratory again. We are already in March. Normally I would like to have also one test in, let's say 6 to 8 weeks ago, but because of the plan, travels and other things, it was not possible to do so.
Hej. Good morning, sir. God morgon. Oj. Det. Ta-da! Surpas.
Since last time we were here in Bergen. In the meantime, we've been in Morocco, Marrakesh, first at sea level, then went up to altitude, tried out 2,620 meters for the first time for a full month.
Higher than where we've been before. It's a more isolated place, and to see whether that is something that we could bridge into our program and that would give us a benefit.
It took time and energy to kind of learn the place, and in the end I think that it took away some focus on training.
Unfortunately they got an infection, so it's very hard to really evaluate whether that is good or not, and there is unfortunately not that much learnings we could take away from that. That means that we have to reset, and now we're back in the lab.
So the test is a protocol that they've developed over a fairly long time with certain gaps between each step, a specific warm-up, and then basically we do a double Vo2 Max test as well.
Again, in the same way as in December, this allows me to really understand how have the transition now from long course gradually back towards short course again, and with the planning and with the execution of the workouts affected or basically stimulated the body, and how has it adapted to it, and then basically now looking at what do we do now in the block leading into the next competition.
Kom an, Gustav! Kjør et halvt minutt til! Kom an, kjør på! 6! Kom an! Faen for en maskin! Kjør på! Å, fy faen! Er det mulig? Hva er det her for noe? Hva er det her for noe?
So now I am on my way to the lab for second round of testing this year. Not really sure what to expect. Training hasn't been great the last 2 months. Been sick on and off 3 times, so I know already before going into a test that I still have a pretty solid job to do before turning up in Ibiza. Over there. The reason why we went to Gran Canaria were to get some sea level training, some quite high intensity training.
Being at 2,600 meters is not so compatible with really developing the velocity required for a competition, and we needed to go down to sea level to have a little bit more time in order to build up that velocity required to be competitive in the VTCS.
Unfortunately, I got sick and wasn't able to do all of those sessions that I needed to, and a result of that, I had to pull out of the race in Abu Dhabi.
So having the new Fjord 3.0 suit for the qualification races, it's a big deal for me. And the 3.0 suit that we have been part of development for a few years now, it is unlike any other wetsuit.
In contrary to a lot of people's beliefs, is that you want something that actually creates a lot of drag, because if it doesn't create drag there, you are actually starting now to make something that is less efficient in catching the water compared to if you have something that creates a lot of drag. What the Vo2 Master allows me to do also in the field beyond testing, looking at the metabolic profile and these kind of things, is that it also allows me to connect basically a certain velocity, a certain power output with a certain calorie turnover. And one of the most important things that a lot of people forget when you train this much consistently over time is that your output can't be higher than your input. And now I'm able to put that into a budget where basically when I'm budgeting or making, because when I make the plans for Kristian Gustav, I normally do that from a calorie budget. But it makes no sense to take distance and convert it into calories unless, or a velocity into calories by a factor. You have to measure it, and basically the Vo2 Master is the only practical device that allows me to get this kind of data.
We had a good session with Body Rocket in Gran Canaria. It was a boring road back and forth where we are testing out the development of the system, because having a wind tunnel out there in the road and in the field, it's truly next level. Body Rocket is basically a wind tunnel that you can use out in the open road. So it kind of separates the rider from the bike by having this strain meters on all the contact point where the rider meets the bike. So on the handlebar, on the seat post, and also on the pedals. So by eliminating the bike from the rider, you can actually find out exactly how much the body is being pushed back.
So yeah, I have the Moxy on here, connected to the Garmin, and like now I'm sitting here and I have 68 in percentage, but when I flex the muscle, it's less oxygen in the muscle, so now it's already down to 45 and it's decreasing. So it's reacting extremely fast, and when I'm doing my intervals I can see within a minute if I'm on threshold or above under. So it's a really fast reacting metric that we use for our threshold training.
So when we go into the lab and we test a lactate profile, or we get a metabolic profile with Vo2, what we saw was that basically the SMO2 values that we get from the Moxy as well is basically happening more or less at the same points, more or less in the same periods. So the weakness with the lactate device is that you basically get a spot picture. You make a lactate measurement and you get a spot picture. You have no clue really what the athlete did the last 30 seconds or last minute. The really beneficial thing with the SMO2 concentration is that it basically goes straight into the computer. It goes in there at the same resolution as your power meter feeds in the data, and now we can basically see that, okay, if you go a little bit harder, there he went a little bit harder, we see the SMO2 concentration goes down as well, and we can start now to evaluate the cost of this as well. And there is also no other better device on the market really than SMO2, and for us the most reliable device on the market to do SMO2 is the Moxy.
One done, now it's the last one.
How are you feeling?
Okay.
Numbers?
85?
Oh,
Numbers?
already 85.
85.
Sorry, but
85 at a fat weight. So wait until May. I will be 3 kg lighter with the same power.
3 kilograms heavier, and then he will be 10% higher Vo2.
Kristian has been sick, so he comes into the test a little bit, let's say, with less than ideal, let's say, condition for this time of the year. So it's a little bit harder to really like compare him towards his best in the Olympic course. But nevertheless, now we're also looking for what do we do with the numbers to build him towards the next gold medalist in Paris 2024.
That's day 1 done. So now we have about 4 good solid weeks in Sierra Nevada ahead of us.
4?
4, yeah. Did I say 2?
5.
We have 5 weeks where we can use these numbers and dial in the intensity. Oh. So we are ready for season. So this is what we're getting when we're getting back home. Snow, cold, winter. Day 2 swim test. Hopefully it's better than last time around. A little more optimistic today. So today will be interesting.
What does it taste like?
Same as yesterday, same as last time. It's a progressive swim set from slow to above threshold, 500 meters repetitions, and then a 300 fast at the end.
We are progressing our research, and we do actually have like significant findings, which is quite interesting on several domains. Everything from the suit to some of the products and research that we do together with Morten, and of course, which is confirmed by one, we have the velocity. On the other side, also we are able to measure the metabolic power with the Vo2 Master, and we have the lactate measurement. So it's and we have the foam goggles, which gives us a very good feedback also on what's happening a little bit with his, let's say, the main parameters of his technique. So this is interesting.
So now with the form goggles, what is really interesting there is that we have suddenly now brought the concept of a bike computer, and suddenly we brought it into the goggles. And for me, this is probably the most important revolution in swimming that ever have happened. The reason why this is a revolution is because it basically gives the swimmers and triathletes instant feedback in the goggles on what's happening. All the hardware technology is there, and now we are advancing the software technology as well to give some new and more specific technique parameters as well, instantly feedback on that while you are swimming. Of course, we, as everybody else, we have limited time, and we have to put our time where we think we get the most back from it. The suit is one of the areas where you, it's something that sits in your body. You have to live with it, and you better make the best out of it, because basically it will affect your hydrodynamics, it will affect your aerodynamics, and it will affect your thermodynamics.
But now we want to go back again to short course and make that short course suit, which is very good in terms of the breathable material. It's very light. We want to maximize the aerodynamic of that suit again. So it's about using what you know from short course, bring it into long course, and what you have learned in long course, bring it back into short course.
So we're using the core also while swimming, And even though you won't get accurate readings for core temperature in the water because the algorithm is not calibrated for the water usage, we still have incredibly valuable data for the actual core or the power production of the body. So the algorithm is not 100% accurate, but you still have data that you can use for actual energy usage. So it's incredibly valuable for us anyway.
The mechanical power, when you're using oxygen, and you are turning the oxygen into, or you're using oxygen to metabolize either carbs or mostly carbs into mechanical work or power. 20% of that goes in. 20% of those calories goes into actually propulsion or moving you forward. 80% of it goes to heat. That's how grossly inefficient the body is actually into turning work, or let's say turning substrates, carbs into, or fats, whatever, into propulsion. This device then also allows us to measure the bigger brother of power, the thermal power as well, which gives us a very good idea throughout the days how much energy is used for mechanical power, how much is used for thermal power, and that also allows us to look at even how we can advance our training program too.
I'm so drained of energy, it's insane. Yeah, the bike test yesterday, I was averaging maybe 5 in lactate for over 2 hours, so my sugar levels are, yeah, all-time low, and it was hard for me to replenish my glycogen storage. So even though the swim is not that long, I'm so drained of energy that the last bit is, yeah, it's not a lack of muscle power, it's more lack of energy. But hopefully I can refuel within tomorrow and have a good run test.
Okay, better than last time. Progression, but not where I wanted it to be.
What's missing?
I think it's just missing the work. I haven't done the work since the last time. Like I haven't done this duration and this intensity.
It has been let's call it a poor start on the year because of infections. Unfortunately, the whole team got a pretty severe infection, which set back both Kristian and Gustav. Even I got an infection.
So I feel like I'm so far behind where I want to be on the Olympic qualification. It's not me. I want to be there to win. I want to be there knowing that I'm at least able to fight for the gold.
At the moment, I wouldn't say I'm too hungry for the races. I'm more hungry to do the work and just go up to altitude again and just smash the training for like a couple of weeks and just feel that my body is getting very fit. And then when you feel fitness, then you feel the time that, okay, now it's time to go.
Combined with all the data we collect, then I know we are getting really much closer, and there are some indicators also now already telling me that it should be really possible to convert back to short course again. Successfully. We don't do conversion to short course just to convert to short course. We convert to short course to win the Olympics in Paris.